Hey guys, welcome to Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection. My name is Susan Light, your host of the SusanityLife here, and I'm super excited to be here. It was so nice out today. I love the fall season, right? The leaves and stuff are starting to change, and it's really beautiful. It's kind of chilly a little bit. Definitely had to put my pellet stove on, which was interesting. My boys were like, Mom, it's so hot in here. But I was like, it wasn't this morning. You know what I mean? Because the fall is coming and that fall feeling is like this. I don't know. It's like breathing, for the first time. I don't know. For me, it is anyways. My favorite month is October. And yeah, so I'm super excited to be here with Quasi. And now our new found producer, Oscar's here too. And he's training with Quasi and learning some new things because Quasi's going on some new adventures, which we love Quasi, right? He's going to be here still, but he's not going to be here as much. So we're excited about that. And I'm really excited too because I have a guest with me. Her name is Valentina. And I met her actually at the Spencer Fair, and she owns Wicked Uniquities. Did I say it right?
You did.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen often. So thank you.
So I met her, and the weird thing was I was telling Oscar and Quasi that the weird thing was I wasn't even going there that day. Jamie and I went on a motorcycle ride, and and he said, "Oh, we should stop at the Spencer Fair." And I was like, "All right." And of course, we get there and it's closing, so everything was already closed up and everything. But that's all right. But anyway, so I met Valentina because I was looking for some sage and some Palo Santo because I sage at my clinic, Susanity in Sturbridge, my holistic wellness clinic. And she had some of that and then some Palo Santo, and she had some beautiful jewelry and some beautiful crystals, and we just connected.
We did. We had a wonderful conversation. And it's one of the reasons I love end of shows because I try to drag my feet a little.
Yeah.
I clean up slowly just because I'm organized,
Yeah.
but also I get to meet some really cool people in those last moments of shows. So I'm really happy that the happenstance.
Yeah. Yeah. It's, it's funny. It's how interesting how a lot of us that are spiritual beings that know that we're spiritual, beings are finding each other.
It's crazy. And I love it. I meet, and I think Spencer Fair is one of the best times of year
go closer
for me.
to the, yeah.
I think the Spencer Fair is one of the best times of year that I do get to meet a lot of like-minded people. I look forward to it every year.
Yeah.
I meet someone new and some last for a long time, which is really wonderful.
Yeah. I'm so glad. So I had her write so I ask my guests that are going to come on to write me a little bit of something and like a bio, and then I kind of go with the questions and I figure out like where to go with it and everything like that. It's just kind of like it's just ebb and flow. And she wrote something, and I want to read just this little part of it at the beginning because it when I wrote it, I read everything she wrote. I listened to what she said.
It wasn't short. So.
And was trying to figure out where to go with this, but this is what she wrote, and I want you guys to hear it. It says, as an artist, my works are very much a product of my life's natural ebb and flow. I briefly mentioned before, these pieces hold a part of me. I heal a part of me with each creation. I make it an effort to treat every up and down in life as an inspirational lesson. And with that energy and mindset, I transmute the guidance gained into purposeful treasures that may help another heal a similar part of themselves.
Thank you.
Like I was crying reading that.
And those are words I've been, I don't want to say preaching for years because that's how it felt. I've always been artsy. And so for me, creating anything has always meant something to me. I didn't just put things together because I could. I did it because I wanted to, and there was a purpose to it. Everything from a birdhouse to silly little things in the backyard and mixing raspberry potions for the squirrels. Who knows what it was? There was always a reason I did it. And I've done it with multiple different mediums in the past. I've worked with polymer clay. I've worked with paint. I've worked with wood, beads, all of the above. And then I found wire wrapping. And it took my already love of crystals and kind of slammed me harder with hey, these have these are usable. They're more than just pretty, and I felt function from crystals early on, and this gave me a chance to harness it and then give people a way to wear it. And then I found out what I was doing by creating a piece And I'd be like, what do these stones mean? I kind of just wrapped them because I felt drawn to, and I'd look up, as I was learning what a lot of the properties were. And it was just like, oh man, like that kind of fits me right now. And I'm like, oh, I wonder if somebody else out there needs this too. And then I would post them or share them or show them to friends. And I'd have somebody be like, oh my gosh, how did you know? Did you make this for me? And I was like, no, I mean, I've just made it. Maybe it's for you. And so each piece does have some connection to me, not just, my hands and my creativity and the thought process of putting it together, or the skills gained that I've, put to use now. A lot of hard work goes into each one.
Yeah. I mean, you're a healer.
Yeah. And I've never resonated with like labels per se. I've done some like workshops and classes to try to get on that path in the past, but it was more just like as a help me help others kind of thing. And I didn't really sit well with some of the education I had received in a formal way for healing. And I just kind of wanted to put my own spin on it, knowing that I know I'm gaining from them. And I've heard stories when I give something to somebody and they're like, how did you know like this was my favorite stone? Or how did you know that, something from it resonated with them? And I was like, I don't think I knew. My soul knew. Something told me, make it now. And I'll plan pieces. I'll have ideas like, right. I'm an artist. I see these stones. I see these designs. I see these elements I've created before. And I'm like, oh, what if I put this one and this one and make it meld? And I'm like, okay. And then I'll line up the stones, and I like to, scrapbook tape, like you double-sided tape. I'll double-sided tape them to like a card and then draw around it to design like some of my bigger pieces. And then I won't get to it at that point. I've got customs or I've got a show to prep for. I'll go to grab that card later, and one of the stones is missing from the card. And I'm like, okay, well, maybe it just wasn't meant to be. And then the first stone that I see next, not only does it go well with the piece, but if you look up like what it's good for, and I test myself on how it goes together, I'm like, oh, this is a better mix than what I originally found. And sometimes that's just how it has to work. And sometimes I'll break stones. And I'm like, well, it wasn't meant to be. It's not that the tension was too tight. It's that wasn't the stone for this piece.
Yeah.
And there's just too many coincidences for that not to be a thing, like to not mean something.
Yeah.
Sometimes I think I find too much meaning in the world, but it always balances back out, I think, for me at least.
Yeah. Yeah. So it started. So let's go back a little bit.
Yeah.
So, did you feel when you were young? So let's go back way back. For me, when I was a kid, like, it started very early for me, this stuff, right? And I would have like dreams and deja vus, and things would happen that, and I would already knew I would know even as a kid that it was going to happen, and it was like a fluke kind of thing all the time. But then you go to school, and of course you have to follow the leader and you do the way the school does, and then you go to, if you're into religion, then you have to go to church, and then you have to and so it's like almost like your wow, why am I doing that?
Ooh.
My throat chakra's crazy. Why? It's almost like you're paralyzed to live the life that you want to live, because I don't know why, you know what I mean? But it's just,
those that care for you have a guideline of how they were raised, and it's a continual cycle. And
and
then there's the structure that we're told we have to keep. So traditional education through school system, religion, if that's your jam, even just certain social groups your parents are in, those the same alignments you're going to have until a certain age. And of course, that's all due to your parentage on when you're allowed to express that more. I was blessed. My mom was already, she was a hippie, spiritual.
Your dad too.
Yeah, my dad was too. And he was a little more like, he knew he had to go and do the work thing and do the regular society, grown man thing. And my mom was still,
grown man thing.
Yeah, my mom was always stuck in her free spirited ways. She was a hippie at heart, and she busted her chops working too. But she made it a point not to like push any of those beliefs on my sister and I, but to more or less like, hey, this is out here too. Like, check out this book and learn about the herbs and the things in our garden and the things in our backyard that we don't even know are there, and crystals and tarot, and just this world that she wanted us to see. But my dad was more conservative, which was fine. We were young and impressionable. I get it. I'm a parent now. I totally get it. but it kind of helped me see that there was more. And then I kind of pushed myself, and still do, to learn and learn and learn and learn.
So did you find that school was difficult for you? Like, I mean,
like
not school itself, because I mean, school, math, English and all that.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, like, connecting with other people,
I've
like,
always,
as a youngster.
yes, absolutely. I still struggle today to connect with people. Unless I'm talking about my work, then I find people abundantly, which is beautiful.
Yeah,
But on a
Yeah.
social hey kind of thing,
Yeah.
I struggle. I've always struggled. I had a very tight knit circle of friends, very few, and even then it was wavery. And as the years went on, fizzled away. Most of my longest friendships have been made since I hit 25, and those are the longest friends I've had since then. So school was tricky. Nobody really, like, I was the artsy fartsy. I wrote poetry and I doodled in my locker and didn't pay attention because I had my head in the clouds. I did well in school, but yeah, no, I did AP classes because I was bored with much else, and it was fine and dandy, but I didn't want to be there. I wanted to be somewhere else. I was the kid looking out the window at, like, the field of flowers. Like, I want to be out there. So, but I did all the things, and I got through it. I didn't like it, but
I was the same.
Yeah, it's hard.
I was the same. I mean, in high school, I got most talkative.
I was the one who's like, you need to be in the front of the class. You need to stop talking. Stop turning around.
Yep.
Everybody needs to focus. And I'm like, but, like, I want to know what they're up to, or, how are you today, kind of thing. I used to get in trouble for talking a lot. All the time. I'm still a talker.
Me too.
My husband's the quiet one, and I don't shut up. Yeah.
I was telling I forget who I was telling, but I was telling a couple friends of mine yesterday, Sunday, I was at a cookout. My boyfriend's birthday was Sunday, and we were talking about Catholic school.
Oh gosh, I can only imagine.
And I remember, like, when I was a kid and I was like, I was in Catholic school, I was the one that was in the corner. And years ago, when in Catholic school you had to wear those, those dunce caps. Yeah, that was me up in the corner in, like, a high top chair with the dunce cap on, because I wouldn't stop talking, because I was trying to be me.
Yeah. We're just social. We want to make those connections.
Yeah.
And it's not, oh man, this class sucks. It's, hey, what'd you dream about last night? What's your favorite rock?
Yeah.
Like, where's the place you go in the woods to sit quietly with your thoughts?
Yeah.
And nobody at age 13 wants to answer those questions. They're like, dude, I sit in my room and watch TV, or I'm listening to the radio. And I'm like, no.
We're going to go on a break quick spit real soon. But we'll talk about this after, but have you found the younger kids are finding you, though, with the crystals and things like that?
Absolutely. The more mainstream it's gotten, the faster I find.
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah. And that parents are allowing it.
Yes. I think that's the most wonderful thing ever.
Yep.
I in all the years I've been vending, just over 11 years that I've been vending in any sense, not just my work. And, I hear the parents, oh, don't touch those. You're going to break them. I have, like, tumbled stones and other things. And I'm like, no, please let them touch them. Like, it's a rock. I'm not going to cry if it hits the floor. I mean, if it's one of the big stuff, then yeah, maybe. But let them have it. If they're feeling drawn to it, let them pick it up. Let them even just hold it. If you don't want to buy it for them, that's fine.
Yeah.
Let them see the rock.
Yeah.
It's shiny. It's pretty. It's calling him for a reason, or her. Embrace it.
Yeah. Yeah, I noticed that. I've noticed that a lot.
Yes.
With crystals and even, like, essential oils and all these things, and meditation. And one of my clients that came to see me at Susanity this week, we were talking about this, and she was telling me how at Tantascwa, which is in Sturbridge, they do meditation at school.
Oh, I love that. I love that. That was never something that would have been invited into this.
Me either. And I really hope that they start doing that in a lot more of the public schools.
Me too.
Because you know what? The kids need it nowadays.
They do.
So, guys, we are actually going on a quick break, and then we will be right back. My name is Susan Ouellette. I am the host of SusanityLife on Unity Radio 97.9 FM with Community Connection, and the owner of Susanity Holistic Health and Wellness in Sturbridge, here with Valentina from Wicked Uniqueness. Uniquities. I'll get it.
Unity Radio. talk, just kicking around. We discovered a love that had never been found. Worcester, we gotcha. Are you ready?
Hi, I'm Max LaFrancois and I attend Assumption University. I wear number 2 in play and field for the Worcester Bravehearts, and you're listening to Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection.
Recreation Worcester is a free year-round program for youth run by the City of Worcester. The program enriches this city's youth in athletics, arts, academics, and social-emotional learning activities. Food is provided for free of charge for all youth participating in the program. Learn more at the Worcester Recreation website, www.worcesterma.gov/recreation-worcester. That's www.worcesterma.gov/recreation-worcester.
Do you know a veteran in need? After leaving the military, many veterans struggle to find their way home. Because to a veteran, home isn't just a place, it's an idea, a feeling. Nation's Finest understands the challenges veterans face. Through the VA's Supportive Services for Veteran Families program, we help veterans and their families struggling with rent, employment, and other housing-related costs. Today, Nation's Finest operates more than 30 locations in California, Arizona, and Nevada. For more than 50 years, we've helped thousands of veterans in these communities build happy, healthy, and purposeful lives. And our team is committed to supporting those who've served and their families for another 50. To get help, visit nationsfinest.org or call 1-833-468-9676. That's 1-833-468-9676.
Hey friends, Wendy Joe here from the Grow Podcast. I'm so excited because I've got a new show for you, the Grow Podcast. It's all about spirituality, spiritual growth, and spiritual tools. And I'm joined by a wonderful co-host, Miss Ashley. So don't miss it, Monday through Friday, 7 a.m., right here on Unity Radio, 97.9 FM, Worcester.
You're listening to Unity 97.9 FM, WUTY, Worcester.
Hey guys, welcome back to Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester Community Connection. My name is Susan Light, your host of the SusanityLife show. I'm here with Valentina from Uniquities. I'm gonna let her say it so I don't screw it up. And I wanted to do just a quick affirmation that I had written down before we start. It says, Creator, thank you for guiding me and for allowing divine unconditional love and healing energy to flow through me. May I now be able to facilitate whatever is needed for the highest good of all. And so it is. You know, I don't know if you know this, but I've written 5 books.
I did check your website. I wanted to learn more. I was
Thank
intrigued. So I think that's amazing.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
And Abby is the woman that worked with me and helped me and guided me and things like that. And she's the one that taught me about the 60-second reset and then the thing that I just did with your fingers. And she taught me how to sit in silence. Well, we never sit in silence.
Silence is uncomfortable.
You know, and I think that people have to realize that when you're sitting in silence, that's when you're going to hear the messages if you're supposed to.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And I think a lot of the times for some people that means sitting with other things at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
That, you know, we try to block out a lot of stuff from day to day that's just, oh, I'm ignoring this for right now.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not something we should do, but it's something we almost all do.
Mm-hmm.
And sitting in silence requires you to kind of, like I was saying, parse through what the distractions are.
Mm-hmm.
So you have to say, okay, no, I don't need to deal with that right now. I don't need to deal with this right now. That's just background noise. This needs to go away. And then you come back into center. And then you can hear what's coming for you or what you need to tell yourself too. And a lot of the times, I don't know, with me, the shadow work I've already dabbled with is not been It's not been pleasant. I don't think it's supposed to be, though. We grow from our uncomfortable
Oh,
situations.
mine was awful.
Yeah. We grow from our most uncomfortable
It
situations.
started, it started for me when I started dabbling with crystals and
Mhm.
things like that. And I was like, I mean, the
Mhm.
things I can't even tell you how many presents that I don't know what energies that I had
Mm.
with me when my children weren't around and I was at my apartment after I got divorced and stuff. It was very scary many times.
I can only imagine. There's it's everywhere. And then
Especially now.
yeah, and I just think in my years of vending, in my years of working with clients, with other people, and then just kind of knowing that I've always felt empathetic. Like, if I'm in the room with somebody and there's some level of sadness or upset going on, like I could walk in and I just feel it. And I never understood it though. I would feel repelled by a room. And it's like, well, why? Like, I'm going to meet up with my friends or going to meet up with my family. Why do I all of a sudden feel ill, or why do I all of a sudden feel so tired and drained? And then, as time went on, I realized how to come back to myself and how to put up bubbles and prepare myself to be around people who don't know how to control their energy, because, there's just still so many people out there who don't. And it's not a bad thing. We're all on our own place, on our own journeys, at our own times.
Yep.
Finding out how to read the energy around us, and if it's coming from someone or an object or a situation, it could be the space you're in, could have had somebody left sticky energy. I mean, every interaction with someone, walking by them at Walmart, that energy has now crossed paths with yours. Neither of you asked for that. Some of us it bounces off and it goes away. Others, it attaches and it'll stick with us for the rest of the day, and we don't understand why. And that's why cleansing and the resets are so important, because our peace, our energy is very important. And so is theirs. You don't need those connections past the point of them serving anyone.
Work.
It takes lots of work.
And it doesn't stop once.
No, that learning continues.
Twice, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's
Absolutely.
a constant.
Absolutely.
It's not only a constant battle within yourself, but it's a constant battle trying to figure out how much energy do I want to give away to that person, and how much energy should I even think about giving away to that person.
And honestly, as difficult as those are to do, I think the hardest part is taking away the feeling of being selfish for not giving as much as you can, but that would knock you out. You know what I mean? Like, oh, I could give you all of this, but I know that I'm going to be useless for the rest of the day and I can't have that.
Yep.
So, but then not feeling guilty or selfish for doing that for yourself. And communication's a big deal with that too. I mean, you hope that those interactions with people, you can be like, okay, I've had a really awesome time, but I need to go. Like, I need to go reset. We'll catch up later. Just communication, so that there's no like, oh man, they just kind of pieced out. It's like, I was feeling exhausted. I still have a lot to do today. So
yeah,
kind of like that, and getting past that, the guilt and the shame that can come about from caring for yourself. Yeah. But putting up those bubbles was definitely one of the biggest things I had to learn, vending especially, because I get a lot of people who are like-minded, and therefore they enter my space with intention and spirituality, and they're coming in with, the amount of people I meet at the Spencer Fair. I meet people at all of my events, but Spencer's such a long weekend, it can be extremely draining. But I meet people and I hear their stories, and they come to me and they talk to me and they ask for, I won't say advice, but they ask for input and my opinion on, what might be happening to them or around them, or why they feel this way, or what could help them. And, my belief in crystals being tools is one of the big reasons people come to me. I try to help them with different practices such as meditation and the resets and healers in the area, if it's something that applies. And all of those things that they come to me with stick to me. And at the end of the day, those are long days too. Those are 12, 15-hour days. So by the end of the day, I'm like sitting there and I'm like, I have to go to sleep. I have to do this again. And I'm like, but I can't yet. I have to like shake it all off, because each one attaches. And I've had to hear some, I shouldn't say had, I've been blessed to hear some terrible stories that people have gone through. And it's hard to hear, especially when like there's only so much I can do to help them. I hope my advice and opinions and practices may help them. And that's kind of my goal, is I can do what I can, and hopefully that helps in some way. Yeah. but it can be exhausting.
Oh yeah, I mean, owning the holistic clinic in Sturbridge. I
Oh,
mean,
yeah.
I've got my hands on people
Mhm.
sometimes for well, usually it's an hour. It's usually an hour to 90 minutes that
Yeah.
my sessions are, and that's why I have them do the intake when they come, because I want to see where their brain waves are at that time, and
Mm.
if they check off depression or anxiety or any type of a diagnosis, then I'm like, okay, where do they live right now?
Yeah.
Because I need to figure out where to tap into that part of their body so that I can heal them from whatever that
Yes.
is. And it doesn't take one time.
No.
And that's, I think, and it's the same thing I think with any type of healing and anything that you do for healing.
Absolutely.
It takes time.
It's practice. Literally, it's constant practice. It has to be something you're mindful of.
Mhm.
And that's where like the crystal tools come in, the meditation, that there's different aspects and modalities, and they all go together.
Mhm.
I'm not saying you need every last one of them to make something count. It's you that does the work.
Mhm.
It's having the tools to do the work.
Mhm.
Once you find them, you can't just be like, oh, it's like taking tinctures. You can't just take that tincture once and then you're going to feel miraculously so much better. It's not going to cure this or fix
Mhm.
that. Continued addition of these things, the nutrients, whatever it is that you're getting from it, you have to keep it up. And once you can slack, we can skip a day at the gym and still look fine, right?
Yeah.
But you have to come back to it and
Yeah.
keep practicing it. It needs to become a habit.
It's not a quick fix.
No, I
by
don't think
any
anything
means.
is. Any of
No.
the quick fixes usually put us further back.
I know.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, it does. But again, like we were talking a little bit ago about how it's interesting how some of the schools are adapting into the knowledge that kids who could have empathy and intuitive abilities, if you tap into that part of who they are,
Mm-hmm.
the results that you're
Oh,
going to receive from
that's-
those children,
Mm-hmm.
hands down, you won't have any ADHD.
No.
You won't have hardly any depression or anxiety,
It's
because they're able to be their true authentic self. And I hope to God that I hope to divine, whatever. I hope someday that more people will be willing to see the truth in this, and how it's okay to set back a little bit and not understand it, but at least want to learn and get the knowledge of it, so that
exactly.
as a whole, collectively, we can live the life we're supposed to.
I agree. I completely agree. And I think seeing it become more mainstream and more, accepted.
Yeah.
Having people, come to my booth, and instead of being like, oh, sage, that, whatever nonsense people have come to my booth and said before about some of the cleansing and healing tools I support. And, oh, that's hooey this or that's hooey that. Oh, they're just rocks. You're right. They are rocks, but they also have meaning and purpose. And finding more and more people now that I don't feel I need to make those statements to anymore, because I have more people coming through, seeing the stuff and just resonating with it. They're like, this one's calling me for some reason. And I was like, would you like advice on maybe why? And there's a whole lot less of those people saying, yeah, no, thanks, I'm all set, it's just pretty, and walk away. There's a lot less shame in being interested in these things too. People are coming around and they're more inclined to say, oh man, why do I need this?
Mhm.
Instead of, this looks cool, but I don't like this color. Why do I want this so bad? Well, there's probably a reason. That's how I first dabbled my toe in metaphysical properties. Was I used to go collect rocks. You go to the beach and you go to one of those little shops and they've got the fill the bag of tumbles. And I was just picked out tumbled stones, just the ones I liked. I wouldn't just dump a whole bucket in, right? And then I don't like pink. I was never a pink person. And this stone was screaming at me, you need to buy this. You need this. Okay, cool. So I grabbed the stone and I kept it. And then later on, my mom was telling me about crystals have meanings. And I was like, okay, what's this one? And she explained it. And the stone was lepidolite or lepidolite. I learned by reading, so I'm going to say it how I read it. Lepidolite. And I looked into the properties behind it and I found out exactly why I needed it. Anti-depression, anti-anxiety. And then to find out, I was like, well, that's cool. Like, the book says this. Okay, whatever.
Yeah.
And then you find out the mineralogical makeup.
Yeah. It's unique. And it's just, when you figure it out, it's like, you don't want to go backwards, because the feeling of it's almost like a feeling of completion. You know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
So guys, we're going on another quick break, and then we'll come back and talk a little bit more about Valentina's journey and get a little bit deeper into what she does, because we actually haven't even really told you what she does yet, and that's fun because we're waiting to the last minute to tell you. No, I'm just kidding. My name is Susan Ouellette. I am the host on SusanityLife here on Unity Radio 97.9 FM with Community Connection, and we will be right back.
Unity Radio.
Worcester, we gotcha.
Hi, I'm Storm, and I'm a part of the Bruce Wells Scholars Upper Bound program. The Upper Bound program is a program that helps many promising low-income, first-generation, college-bound Worcester High School students. After joining this program, I've learned many different and important life skills while making new connections and getting real-world experiences through internships and classes. If you're interested in any of these opportunities, you can find more information at www.sevenhills.org or 617-866-1293. That's www.sevenhills.org or 617-866-1293. A brighter future begins with you.
Hi, my name is Noel. And my name is Isaiah. And we are the co-founders of Woo Juice. At Woo Juice, we serve freshly pressed juices, smoothies, and wellness shots. We're here to bring health to the city of Worcester. And you're listening to Unity Radio on 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection.
Hi everyone, my name is Kaz from Kazakia's Hair Studio. I wanted to take the time to stop in today at Unity Radio and share with you guys how excited we are to be celebrating our 7th month in business. Being a young Black man in the city, I'm really excited to see all the growth and the opportunities that there are for everyone. And with that being said, I wanted to introduce my new stylist, Jetty.
Hello, my name is Yeti. I'm a hairstylist here, and a few of the services that I offer here: curly hair, color, and cuts.
If you guys want to know where to find us, we are Kelly Square at the Worcester Public Market. For more information, you can reach us at www.kazakiastudio.com. We're also on Instagram and Facebook.
Hi, I'm Ernie Floyd, host of Unity in the Community on Thursdays at 5 p.m. on Unity Radio. The Unity in the Community show embraces the city versus diverse cultural communities, the music, the arts, and healthy lifestyles. Join me and our guests on Unity in the Community on Thursdays at 5 p.m. on Unity Radio, 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection. Polar Beverages. Polar Beverages, making bubbles since 1882.
You're listening to Unity Radio, Worcester's Community Connection.
Hey guys, welcome back. You're now listening to SusanityLife with Susan T. Ouellette on Unity Radio 97.9 FM, which is Community Connection. You can also watch us on Facebook Live at Unity Radio Mass or stream us at WUTY 97.9 FM.org. Or you can call in if you wanted to at the number 508-373-2515. Feel free to go to my Facebook page, to Susanity Facebook page, to pre-submit your questions, and we can answer them here too. Yeah, we're back. So the conversation, I love this stuff. And what I was going to say to you was, it's interesting, I'm sure, when you're at your shows, doing what she does. You guys don't know is she makes beautiful pieces of jewelry.
Thank you.
She does wire wrapping.
Yep.
And they're gorgeous. And I was literally, I would have been drawn to her, irregardless if I was in the fair. I would have been drawn to her table anyway, because that's where my energy always goes. And that's what I was going to say to you. So even these people, more than not, that come to the table and that have said, oh yeah, this is whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Either that's a husband or a wife of someone that doesn't understand it or doesn't want to understand it. but the person that's with them, I guarantee you they're searching.
Oh yeah. There's plenty
People
of,
are going to find your table and your methods
Hmm.
because they're searching, period. And there's going to be somebody that's going to stop them because they don't understand it. But if they want to know, they're not going to stop no matter what.
Mhm.
It's the same thing with Susanity.
Oh, I bet.
When they come for Reiki and polarity and even massage, and I get my hands on them, and they've come for like a deep tissue, and they get off the table and they're like, that didn't hurt,
That wasn't like other massages.
but
I've
I'm not
had.
in pain anymore.
Yeah.
That's what they say.
It's because it was so much more than the tactical healing.
And I'm like, well, okay.
Mhm.
It's supposed to hurt. Well, every time I've gone before, I'm
Mhm.
like,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
I'm like, it's a little
No,
bit
it's
different
true.
when you
It
come here
is.
because intuitively I can tap into the different parts of your body. And I feel like crystals and jewelry and anything in the spiritual sense of self and the spiritual sense of realm can do that. So we're going to go back a little to you. So your mom,
Mhm.
she sadly passed when you were 12.
She did. She struggled for a while with her health, mostly environmental issues with her health, but it was a
Yeah.
long struggle. So I was very close with her, though. She
Yeah.
was a huge support for me. Watching her kind of learn and live and show and just enjoy, like
Yeah.
fond memories of her dancing through the kitchen. She's a little, like I said, a little free spirit.
Yeah.
She used to write. She read a lot.
Yeah.
It was just something I always looked up to. Like my dad was hardworking and my mom was just true to her heart. And that
Yeah.
made me so happy to see that. And then the fact that she, turned that back and was like, you can do this too. And I was like, oh, really? Like,
And how old were you when she started
I
showing
was,
you?
I was, so when she got really, really sick.
No,
I
how old
was-
were you when she started showing you
Oh,
her
early,
artistic and
early.
because I read, like I said,
Yeah,
I read.
I was young. We used to do crafts all the time, like outdoor crafts. Go collect sticks and like make stuff out of it. And that was pretty early, kindergarten and up. And then really dabbling with like seeing the tarot cards here and there, like never getting readings from her or anything, but getting to see them. I was probably like 7 or 8 around then.
Yeah.
So it was like I was very intrigued. It was definitely something I was like, ooh, this is cool. Like
7 is a perfect age
I thought
for
so
that.
too. I thought so too.
That's when you
It felt
start.
right.
It's when it's when the shift inside of you first starts.
That makes sense. That makes sense.
It's
It kind of
like
clicked at the time,
yep.
and it really did.
Yep.
And that
yep,
was
yep.
also kind of around the same time that her health deteriorated. So it felt like, looking back on it now, it felt like it was meant to happen when it happened.
Yeah.
Not her passing, but me learning and starting to dabble with these things.
Do you still feel her?
I do all the time.
I was going to say because she's all over you.
Craziest thing is I'm living in my childhood home now, raising my 2 children.
And
So
how
the
old are
home-
your kids?
My kids are 5 going on. He's almost 6, and my daughter is 3, and she's almost 4.
Oh,
They're little. They're crazy chaos.
Mine are
feral.
like I told
Oh,
you, 23 today, almost 21 and 18. It goes by so fast. Everyone said, it goes by so fast.
You don't
You have
believe
to
it
enjoy
until
it
it's
while it's.
happening.
And I'm like, no. And then next thing you know, you look at your son and he's living with his girlfriend and he's 23 years old. You got your
No.
other son who's 18 going into the Marines. You're like, what the heck?
Where did it all go?
What
no,
happened?
Just looking at them now being 3 and 5, and I don't even know where the last of it has
It
gone.
must be so unique though to watch them
It
grow,
is.
and they're so young right
It
now. Like
is.
you can tap into so many amazing things
Mhm.
with
Oh,
them.
it's
Oh
wonderful.
my god!
Some freaky moments though, because being in my childhood home and in the home we were in until my mom passed is, when my son was younger, he'd be like talking to the corner of the room like babies and toddlers do and such, and he'd just be laying there and he would say something like grandma. Now he doesn't have a grandma that's called grandma. All his grandparents have very unique names.
Mhm.
So to say grandma, and that's what we've always, I don't want to say joked, but I've kind of titled my mom was going to be Grammy or grandma. And so he'd look in the corner and I'd be like, what you looking at, bud? And he'd go, Gammy, 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 when he was little. And to this day, I'll still catch them every once in a while, say somebody's name, or he'll be like, I miss grandma. And I was like, they never got to meet her. She passed when I was 12 or 13.
Yeah.
She was sick when I was 12. She passed when I was 13.
Yeah.
But so they've never met her. But we're in that same home, all her energy, the big bookcase. I have a lot of her books still that I've carried down. I still have her main tarot deck. I don't use it. It's just there in memory of her and photos and the like. And it's fun. It's interesting to raise my children in the home I grew up in. I think it's a blessing though.
And you're married.
I am. Yes,
and your husband
yes.
is very supportive of
He
your
is
journey.
extremely supportive.
Is he like you? Is he like-minded?
He wasn't.
or-
He wasn't. He
Okay.
wasn't at all. I won't say at all. He always has supported my art all the way back to our friendship, long before ever dating or getting married. He always supported my art, my creativity. I had taught him how to wire wrap. I taught him how to make dream catchers, and then I told him I was never teaching him a thing again because he makes them better than me. So we stopped teaching him how to do things. Yes,
he's not listening to this. She did not just say that.
So
I would love to learn. Actually, are you going to teach classes?
I do
Perfect.
teach,
I'm
yes.
coming.
So I would love.
I'm going to grab my girlfriend Amy and her daughter too.
Absolutely.
You will love
group and
Avery,
private
my
classes.
girlfriend Amy. You will love Avery. Her
I look
birthday is
forward to it.
October 2nd. So she was
Ooh.
born
Yep.
you will love Amy too.
I look
You will
forward
love
to it.
you guys would love.
I
my
love
friend.
teaching.
She's amazing.
I love teaching. I have a blast teaching.
And she would love it. I would love it too. We're coming.
It's an experience. Absolutely.
I'm like, we're inviting ourselves.
Yeah,
We're
no,
coming.
please do. I
Yeah,
love that. I
yeah.
love that. But no, he's extremely supportive. I couldn't be doing this today without him. He
Yeah.
busts his chops. He has a job he's had for almost 17 years now.
And what does he do?
He works at Shop Fiber Optic in Southbridge.
Okay.
He's a technician, glass
Nice.
technician. He's going to be mad at me if I butcher his actual title, but I don't know it. He does
Makes
things.
glasses?
Yeah, he wears glasses, but he makes other things. They don't make glasses.
Oh, okay.
He works on like cool fancy glass parts that go into things like binoculars and night vision and stuff like that.
Oh,
It's really
that must
cool.
be really unique. And
He
he's a
likes it.
Libra, you said, right? He
is,
must love
yeah,
that.
yeah, he does. He loves his work.
Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, they love that kind of
But
stuff.
it's thanks to him.
They have that
I've-
engineering.
Yeah.
Males
he's-
do. I'm a Libra. I don't have any of that engineering
No,
stuff. I do have masculine for sure.
He'll
a lot
come home.
more sometimes, but
He'll come home and tell me this project he like fixed or solved or this problem that the actual engineers couldn't do. I didn't say that. And he'll be like, yeah, I figured it out. And I was like, oh man. And he'll give me the whole process and I can listen to it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not getting a single thing that you just did, but that sounds awesome.
yeah. Yeah.
No, he's amazing. And he gave me the opportunity to stay home from work when we had our son. And I took him up on it because I was like, oh, cool. I get to stay home with our kid. And I also get to continue my business, which I had already started at that time with wire wrapping. So it kind of let me continue to carry on and not have to halt all of my life just because I decided to have a kid.
Yeah.
So that was really fun. But yeah, he lets me do the thing, which is
I love that though.
It's
That's, you know what, you
amazing.
need that support. And it,
I do.
you know what's funny? It's, you go through your whole life, not your whole life, but a lot of your life, like dating different people, right?
Yeah.
And each person you feel like is meant for you,
Yeah, at
right?
the
And
time.
yeah,
Mhm.
and you don't realize a lot of times, and this is where narcissism comes in. Is a lot of them they're just stealing your energy, and not because they really want to.
It's
I
not
want people to
intentional.
understand that narcissism is definitely a diagnosis, but it's not because they want to do what they're doing. It's because they don't know any different because they've never either been loved before, or they struggle with addiction, or they struggle with depression, or they struggle with anxiety, or they struggle with something that they haven't done the work.
Exactly.
And if you're with someone that even has remotely done the work and you can pull them into that part of your sphere, it's like breathing for the first time when you're with that person.
Oh, absolutely.
You know what I
Absolutely.
mean?
Yeah. Meeting him was, well, it was crazy. We made friends very quickly. We just kind of hit it off. We had I don't want to say like a lot in common, but we were willing to talk and listen and learn and find things in common, which was beautiful. And then now, he gets into more of the hooey and he'll help me pick stones, and he gets it when I roll a die because I don't know what I want to like pick. And I'm like, here, can you help me roll a die? I just want some of your energy on this. Can you help me? And he gets it now. And he
See?
listens to me and
I want some of your energy on this.
he
That's
grabs
nice.
it, and
Yep.
now he understands, and
Yep.
and so he's constantly interested in learning, and I think that to me is more support than just saying I can stay home or just allowing the help that I need to make sure I get my work done. He supports and is willing to actually hear, listen, and learn what I have to say and what I'm doing for people and what this piece is supposed to mean. And I'll hand him a piece. What does this feel like? And
Yeah.
he'll tell me.
Oh my God. This is so awesome. I mean, I'd love to meet him someday. And I'd love to meet
Absolutely.
the kids someday too. And I definitely want to do some of this
Oh,
wire
yeah.
wrapping.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. But we're going to go on another quick break. And then we're going to come back and we have that last segment. And she's going to tell you guys how to find her and talk a little bit more about her jewelry pieces and her journey a little bit more. And I'm just so grateful that you're here. Thank you so much. And it was so nice to meet you too, Sharon. Like her friend Sharon's here too. And yeah, anyways. So my name is Susan Light, the host of the SusanityLife show here on Unity Radio 97.9 FM with Community Connection. And we will be right back.
Unity Radio. Worcester, we've got you.
Do you know a veteran in need? After leaving the military, many veterans struggle to find their way home. Because to a veteran, home isn't just a place, it's an idea, a feeling. Nation's Finest understands the challenges veterans face. Through the VA's Supportive Services for Veteran Families program, we help veterans and their families struggling with rent, employment, and other housing-related costs. Today, Nation's Finest operates more than 30 locations in California, Arizona, and Nevada. For more than 50 years, we've helped thousands of veterans in these communities build happy, healthy, and purposeful lives. And our team is committed to supporting those who've served and their families for another 50. To get help, visit nationsfinest.org or call 1-833-468-9676. That's 1-833-468-9676.
Unity Radio is streaming at WTY979FM.org. We'd like to thank our listeners and supporters.
TD Bank, America's most convenient bank. TDBank.com. Harvard Pilgrim Healthcare of Worcester. HarvardPilgrim.org. And Wings Over Worcester. WingsOverWorcester.com.
Unity Radio, Worcester's Community Connection.
Are you ready?
Hi, I'm Gary.
And I'm Steve.
And we're the hosts of Cannabis 101 on Unity Radio 97.9 FM.
Join us and our guests on Thursdays at 3 p.m. as we discuss the cannabis industry in Central Mass with energy, excitement, and passion.
We both take pride in providing you important information about the rapid growing cannabis industry. Support for Cannabis 101 is provided by Cannabis of Worcester on Unity Radio 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection.
Support for Unity Radio 97.9 FM is provided by Chick-fil-A of Worcester, committed to being better at together, meaning embedding diversity, equity, and inclusion in everything we do. Sub-Zero Nitrogen Ice Cream, celebrating your life's moments by providing the very best experience with quality, custom, amazing products. Unity Radio, Worcester's Community Connection.
Hey, I'm Brian Manbell. I play for the Worcester Red Sox. I'm a starting pitcher. You're listening to Unity Radio, 97.9 FM, Worcester's Community Connection.
Let's talk, Worcester. Unity 97.9.
So, guys, we are in our last segment. I get so sad, but it's okay because we're going to stay connected. I already know.
Absolutely. No.
Valentina, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you for having me.
And for bringing Sharon. Now I get to meet Sharon too. So what you're going to do now is kind of just tell people a little bit more about, because we really, now this whole segment is for you to talk about your jewelry, your pieces. You talked a little bit about the rocks and how you got started with regular rocks. I don't know if you painted them or whatever you did. And then also like during it, if you could just tell people like how they find you and all that stuff. So
absolutely,
take it away.
So yeah, I make pretty jewelry. Bye. No,
no, sir. I want me to read something. I'm going to read something else. No, I am. Let's see. Yes. Where is that? Yep. This is the second piece that I was like, well, actually, I should read this whole damn thing. But anyway, it says, she says, then wire wrap jewelry found me at a time when I had a lot to process and release.
Yeah.
No medium before this had felt so right. Aside from maybe flow art such as resin or acrylic pouring. In the beginning, I used the challenges of learning a new hobby as a pleasant distraction. That distraction became my greatest tool, helping me to gain traction in my life again. Ugh, my heart. I went from avoiding my healing to tackling it head on with bare hands. Hoorah! Jacob. It's become one of the deepest rabbit holes I've ever jumped down, and I couldn't be more grateful for the chance to grow beside such a multifaceted art form. 11 years later of carrying rocks in my pockets, in my pocket. I bring them together with pure intentions, a healing mindset, earth energy, vision, and physical strength. At the times, the stones chose me, and I allow their spirit to guide my own. That's beautiful.
Thank you. Thank you. It's 100%.
I had to read that.
It's 100%.
I'm going to keep reading it.
No.
This gave me a little bit of, I'm like, oh, this is such a good feeling. Like, you know, it's a beautiful thing. And if you're putting what you wrote here into your pieces,
100%.
you need to get a piece from her, because spiritually, she's connecting her energy to the stones, and you want some of that. That's all I'm going to say. Anyways, go ahead.
So I consider what I make to be soul crafted. That's just kind of a little tagline that hit me.
Yeah.
And it's forever stuck, because each piece isn't just made because it's pretty. I make them because they need to be made,
Yeah.
and they have purpose.
Yeah.
Whether it's just for me or it's for whoever finds them. And then I do have the privilege to do custom work, which is some of my favorite work, because you can come to me and tell me what it is you're looking for, or what it is you're going through, or what it is you need or like, etc. Everything from like the simplicity of a mother's piece, something that, okay, well, it's just a stone that mom likes, or a stone that's for mom's birthstone and her kids or her grandkids. And it's like that already. People are like, oh, I know it's not really what you do. And it's like, no, it is. There's so much heart in those pieces. There's so much heart. It's the culmination of family in a piece of jewelry. It's not just everybody's birthstones and the colors they like, or this or that. It's all of their energies are now going to be with mom all the time. And that's my intention making those pieces, up until you make things more like, you can't see it on the camera, but it's the one I can't seem to let go of recently. These pieces are made with
Facebook people can see it.
Yes, Facebook people can see. I don't know if you can see it, but it's there. Like one of the stones, the great agate, I knew I wanted to wrap it. I picked it up and I said, okay. And I just kind of sit there with it. Sometimes I'll pull a card. Sometimes I'll just meditate. Sometimes literally it just comes to me. The stone's like, hey, this is what I want. I want friends too. And then I'm like, okay. So then I have to,
the stones talk to her.
Yes,
by the way.
they do. They really do. It sounds so silly, but
it doesn't. I think it's beautiful. This is amazing.
They really do. So the great bag, it was like, wrap me. And I was like, okay. And so I fished around. I have stones all over the place. Most of them used to be organized, but chaos, ADHD, all the jam.
Yep, I get it.
And so I reached around and I'm like, okay, well, the great bag, it has a little green in it. Let's see. We'll pull some colors and contrast, and then I'll feel it out and see what the stone is good for. Like for myself, everything's intuitive first, and then I double check myself in the end just to see if I was right on course. Grab the stones, and then as I'm in the mess of it, like something like this, I had no. When I say soul crafted, it's because the only designs that get drawn up, unless they're like a dream I had, the only ones that get drawn up are when I'm planning for a person. So if they've said, I want this shape, or you've done this piece, I want it to kind of look similar in shape. And then I have to go around that idea.
Like if they had a memory from someone that had passed,
or even sometimes it's
a child, like a new birth, or whatever.
Yeah,
like
sometimes it's symbolism to them. Sometimes it's just the way the piece forms. And a lot of the times with something like this, like I'd wrap the stone. And I'm like, okay, it has a friend, and then the rest of it, all that weaving and all that coil,
it's beautiful.
It just comes to
guys. If you can look on Facebook Live, you should see this piece. It's
and if you ever want to take
stunning.
a deeper look, Instagram is definitely the place you can kind of just scroll all of my work, and you can find me there at Wicked Uniquities. And then Facebook is also Wicked Uniquities, and TikTok is Wicked Uniquities, because consistency, right?
Yeah.
And then my email and all that can be found on any of those pages, and my website too, which is typically stocked with at least something.
She don't just do those. She has all the different pieces of crystals, and then she has sage, and then Palo Santo, and then she makes these cute little baggies with like, I don't know what she does, but she adds, these little baggies so if like you were having a baby shower or a bridal shower, or some kind of some event of some sort,
gifts,
wedding gifts, things like that. Like it might be something that you might want to incorporate into the gift giving. Christmas is coming. Wow, Christmas is coming.
I know.
That
don't even
sounds
say
terrible.
that, man.
It's
already
Christmas
busy
is
season.
coming, and there's so many things, and I'm hoping that you'll post at some point, if you're going to have a class.
Oh yeah, I always share about my classes when I do have them. Right now, one of the primary shops that I was using as a venue is currently closed. So I'm trying to find spots that will accept small to large classes. But
Like
I
what's
do book.
small?
So the smallest class, like if I'm going to get a group together and consider it a private class, I can go down to 3 people at a minimum.
What would you need to use
So to do
in
a
the
class
facility?
in a facility, a space just like here, honestly, is
This
a good
big?
size. It doesn't even need to be this big. A room in someone's home it just needs a table, and 5 people, and we're good to
Well,
go.
because I'm thinking you could come do one at Susanity.
Ooh, yes, please. I would love that. I've taught classes up to 15 people, but my comfort zone is no more than 8 because then my classes aren't individual experience as much as it's a group experience. And we go over metaphysical properties if people are open to it.
I have a couple couches.
Oh,
and
that'd
I
be
have a nice
perfect.
little long table, and there's it seats 8 people.
Oh, that
It
would be
seat
absolutely
8 people.
perfect. And 8 is my comfort zone because then I can walk around and help people as they need
I don't know
it.
if
We
they
go
would need
step by
table. I
step.
don't know. We'd have to talk
We
about it.
could totally work it out.
But I
and
definitely
I
know
bring
some people that
everything
would
for
come.
classes, all the wire, all the stones, all the know-how. You get tutorials.
That would be fun.
I bring the tools.
Guys, if you're listening this and you know me and you want to come to a wire wrapping class, it's going to be posting it soon. 'Cause
Yes,
I think
will.
that'll be
I will.
fun.
We'll powwow. We'll come up with a date and totally do it.
Yeah.
I absolutely love that.
Great.
I love teaching. It's a lot of fun. Each experience, whether somebody leaves my class like, holy crap, I'm never doing this again, but that was fun, or they leave with a new hobby. Either spectrum, and all throughout the middle. It's so much fun.
I think the best thing about it will be that because you're so intuitive, I'm so intuitive. Sharon, if Sharon comes, she's so intuitive, and if we connect in one area, all 8 of us that are in the same spiritual type of realm, figuring things out right now, imagine what it's going to feel like.
Some
it's
of my
going to
classes
be absolutely beautifully
Some
amazing.
of my classes definitely have a ceremonial feel to them.
Yeah.
The way that the energy comes together, the people that have ended up in our classes, the people that have met because of my classes and then are still friends now. It's amazing. Like they met sitting there like, oh my gosh, this is so hard. And then because of those interactions and what they created.
I'm thinking about Shiloh, my friend Bonnie. I'm going, okay, like all these people go through my head. I'm like, I'm going to invite her. I'm going to invite her. I'm going to invite her. All these people. But
Absolutely.
yeah,
I think
it'll be fun.
It's
I
always
definitely
good
know
time.
that we definitely met for a reason. Like I said, I mean, I wasn't even going to go there today, so
I think it's magical.
So thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
So guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We love you at Unity Radio 97.9 FM with Community Connection, Ernie Floyd and Quasi and Oscar now and Aaron and all of our guests and all of the people that do the shows here. We're so grateful for all of you, and thank you so much for being here, and hopefully you guys will have an amazing week. Make sure you do your breath work and do your meditation. And if you need any guidance on that, you can always find me on SusanityLife.com or on Susanity Life on Facebook or Susan T. Ouellette. Guys, thank you so much. This is Valentina. We love you guys and take care. Bye.
Hey, it's DJ.